Mr. Davis is the one that kept running his mouth, poking the bear, poking his nose at the state of Nevada. Everybody want to make this a big old CIA mission. Gang members. That's where all this Crips and Bloods and Piru stuff originated. And that's what they do. You hurt one of ours, we retaliate and hurt one of yours. The outcome I'm hoping for is for all of these unanswered questions to get answered. Just all of this stuff that's on social media to get put to rest. So justice for Tupac is my outcome.
It's been nearly 30 years since Tupac was killed near the Las Vegas Strip. Are you able to share with us what prosecutors asked of you when they approached you to take the stand?
I assumed it's going to be about what I spoke on in the grand jury because about 3 years ago, to maybe this date, I went before the grand jury and testified. And I just always assumed it's going to be pretty much just laying out an atmosphere between death row, bad boys, my little experience as a police officer, dealing with the mob rules and the Southside Compton Crips. And then my part as an executive, kind of a unique person because, I worked on the law enforcement side, the security side, and then I became an executive and ran the label at Death Row. So just talking about those times and the atmosphere around Death Row up until the shooting of Mr. Shakur and probably a little bit after.
And are you surprised it has taken this long for prosecutors to charge Duane Davis?
It was a done deal. Mr. Davis is the one that kept running his mouth, poking the bear, poking his nose at the state of Nevada. You keep doing that, of course, you keep talking about a situation that you got to pass that went on, you're going to have younger people come aboard. The old heads, I'm sure the old DAs and all them, they were cool. But then you get some younger DAs or assistant DAs that come in and be like, hey, DA, this guy is out here still running his mouth. Can we open this investigation and solve it, And I really believe that's what happened.
A Clark County grand jury has indicted Duane Keefe Davis with 1 count of open murder with use of a deadly weapon with a gang enhancement. I know a lot of people have been watching and waiting for this day. Tupac Shakur is a music legend, and for a long time, this community and worldwide have been wanting justice for Tupac.
Our goal at LVMPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable.
Because he wanted to write books, he wanted to go and do all the interviews, and they decided, hey, got a motivated young assistant DA that convinced his boss to give me a shot.
And I understand Duane Davis has repeatedly pointed the finger at you and suggested that you had a role in orchestrating Mr. Shakur's killing. What do you have to say to those allegations?
Well, I laugh. I mean, to be accused of murder is not a laughing matter, but it's because I know he's a pathological liar. His attorneys on the mission. They tell you can't believe anything Keefe D said. You can't believe anything he says. Now, they're trying to say that because they want to discredit everything that he said when he was facing 25 years of life, which, you don't play with the government when they got something on you already that you're trying to get off. Because you piss them off or get caught in one lie, then that deal is gone. And so, as he always said, hey, they got me. They had me. They had 48 of my friends and family. And so that's his justification for cooperating in 2008. Mm-hmm. So, but then he go, again, already got the deal in place. Tell the same story in 2011. Then he goes, write a book. He goes and do all of that. So my whole thing is, I know that wasn't the question you asked, but the question was, how do you feel? It's funny to me. I used to watch a TV show with my father when I was growing up. It's called The Practice. And and they used that law firm. They used to defend people, and they say always have a plan B. Have somebody else to blame it on when your client is in trouble. And so I guess I'm his plan B.
Well, maybe ask, why do you believe he keeps repeatedly suggesting that you had a role in this and Tupac's murder?
Who on YouTube, on social media, has picked at him more than Reggie Wright has? Nobody from his family, no outlaws, no fellow childhood friends or anything. Reggie Wright has took up this fight and been picking at him, going at him for the last 10 years. I mean, on every interview, he brought up Reggie Wright's name. And back then, he was just mainly talking about the Biggie stuff. But now, he's all of a sudden just saying, wait a minute, about to really get me. I need somebody to blame on. Yeah, this I'm lying stuff not working. Well, how would he know? Okay, so tell me these things, Keefe. Did I was in a relationship with you and paid you, orchestrated it with you? Or how would you know? You think I'm going to tell him, hey, Keefe, I'm the one that killed Tupac. I did this. How would you know? It's just like everybody else is throwing out stuff because it got to be bigger. Can't be that easy. Can't be just no gangbanger stuff. Nobody want to believe. It's so unfortunate. Everybody want to make this a big old CIA government mission. It's bigger than Keefe D and the other three guys in the car. That happens every day in LA County. Every day in LA County. Gang members. That's where all this Crips and Bloods and Piru stuff originated. And that's what they do. You hurt one of ours, we retaliate and hurt one of yours.
And Reggie, can you take me back to that date, September 7th, 1996? What do you remember about the hours leading up to the shooting?
Just that we were chaotic, but that was normal for death row. For us, we was always unorganized. We was a bunch of young guys, had too many people around us. And everybody was trying to get ready. Everybody was trying to really get tickets or trying to think they were going to the fight. We all was checking in our hotel, got into the Luxor Hotel at the last minute, drove in from Vegas, which my crew actually, my security team, we was already out there. We was out there a day before because all my guys had to go get what they call a TAMS card, like a guard for, it's like a card you have to get to work inside the nightclubs, being around alcohol out there. So sent a bunch of them to the class, but mainly the death row staff and everybody was starting to come in on that Saturday, getting everybody in their rooms, getting everything situated, waiting on Suge, trying to figure out who's going to be that few selected ones, because he probably had 6 tickets at the most, maybe 8, and probably had 20 people thinking they were going to the fight and they was going to get in, and trying to be in that number, and everybody looking for Suge, wondering when he's coming. Even Tupac even got frustrated for waiting for Suge to show up. Well, he had his security and him. I eventually got on the phone call from the house phone of the hotel. Where's Suge at? Tell him we'll meet him over there. We're going over there. And they called a cab and went over there to the hotel. And they all went to the fight. As y'all saw, when they came out of the fight, they all hooked up and were pumped up. Pac, being who Pac is, was pumped up. But I'm just speaking on what I saw on YouTube now, because I wasn't with them. I was at the nightclub trying to get that organized for their arrival from the fight, for the after party.
Right, and it's funny you mentioned the aftermath of the fight, the post-fight. What do you know about the confrontation between Tupac, Suge Knight, and their entourage, and Orlando Anderson and the MGM Grand Lobby?
Nothing firsthand other than conversations recently with Trayvon Lane, where he was always accused of whispering in Tupac's ear where he adamantly denied. I didn't whisper in his ear. I was talking to the group, and Tupac overheard what I said and took off and ran towards Orlando. And then we all have, the video evidence of what happened there.
Do you believe the assault on Orlando Anderson fueled Davis and the other three gentlemen that were in the vehicle to seek revenge on Tupac and Suge Knight?
Oh, definitely. As I spoke earlier, unfortunately, in our society, most society, that's like crazy, unheard of. You go to the police when something like that happens. Their society, in their culture, they were supposed to do that. They had to do that. And that's what they do.
Can I ask, when did you first learn about Tupac being shot, and what was your initial reaction?
I was inside the nightclub, and then two gentlemen ran up to me, came up there ecstatic, and they were like, Reg, Pac and Suge just got shot down the street. I thought they were to be honest. I was like, all right. But there was an attorney that was over making sure everything ran right and smooth, was helping us try to get our final license and everything with the club, by the name of George Calise. And he was standing right next to us. He had relationships with the police officers that were working the front door because he had secured that, and went out there and started talking to him, and also noticing several of the police cars taking off, leaving from the club, code 3, which means licensed sirens. And now I'm like, whoa, this did happen. So me and George Calise and one of my security guards named Michael Moore jumped in the car with the attorney, because he was from Vegas. He knew the area. We started heading that way. Somehow we got notification that they had already left the scene, and we went straight to the hospital.
Reggie, can you describe to us what it's like to be involved in that environment when tensions are so high between Tupac, Suge Knight, the street gang violence, even the whole East Coast feud with Biggie and Puff Daddy?
It's strange. It's strange, and I guess I was strange back then. I didn't see nothing wrong. It was like common practice. I didn't look at it as like a fear or a hazard of work conditions or anything like that. I just looked at it as normal hip hop community. You didn't expect anything like that was going to happen. You never expect it to happen. You saw it on TV and stuff like that. But if I would have known of the beatdown, the incident that happened at the MGM, then yes. And knew that it was gang members, not just a regular citizen or something like that, then yes, would have been on a different type of alert. But quite frankly, I don't even think I would have thought that they would have retaliated that quick in Vegas. Now, if it was in LA County and something like that happened, then yes. But I thought that was pretty ballsy of them to mount up, arm themselves, which they probably already was armed, but to go and hunt out people to retaliate that quick. I thought that was pretty ballsy on their part, but not uncommon.
Reggie, I want to switch over to Keefe D's upcoming trial. Are you surprised Davis has made a complete U-turn and he is now bringing himself away from his comments in interviews, in his memoir, and saying he was seeking royalties?
What you expect him to say? Oh, I did it. The only other option for him to do is to play crazy. I'm just crazy. Be rubbing all over his face every day or something like that. Trying to convince that he's crazy. Because that's the only thing the jury going to be, a regular person on the jury going to be like, is he crazy? No. Well, why did he make all these statements if he's not crazy?
And Reggie, do you still have a relationship with Suge Knight?
It goes in and out. We got a brotherly love thing. Right now, I hate his guts, but you can't say it. You can't do nothing to it. You say something about him, I'll defend him to the hill. But currently, I'm disappointed, very disappointed on a lot of things, because he's playing with this. He weaponizing this situation uh, for anybody that he's mad at. He done accused Snoop Dogg will have something to do with it. He done accused myself. He done accused his ex-wife, Sharitha. He done accused dirty cops. He done accused, now he's, if you really listen to his latest interview on TMZ, he's admitting Keefe D did it. That's made statements that Keefe D told him at a Laker game that he did it. And then we also got him out there saying Tupac's alive. Suge used this situation as a joke, as a weapon against people, and he don't take it serious. But blaming people like Snoop Dogg and stuff like that, and then I defend it, is what caused the beef between he and I.
And what are your thoughts on him refusing to cooperate with prosecutors and asking to be left alone from Davis's trial?
Well, I think it's coward on him, but I think most gang members are cowards because they fall under that jacket because they snitch when it's beneficial for them, but when it ain't beneficial for them, I don't snitch. I don't get down like that. I don't do that. And so, but I understand where he's at. He's in prison. He's under all those type of quote unquote people that's claiming to be gang members or whatever. And so it'd be hard for him to go and get on the stand and point somebody out and put him in that situation because of where he's at. But if he loves somebody, in my opinion, you do whatever it takes for him to get justice. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand this gang banging and this false sense of gang security that's out there. That's just what they do.
And do you believe he will take the stand or he won't?
Suge's not coming. I don't think. Would you call him if you was a district attorney? Would you call him? And you got all these statements out there that he done made because you know what the defense gonna say. Well, didn't you say this? Well, didn't you say this? Well, didn't you say this? And then if you're a defense, would you do it? Because the DA gonna say the same thing. So you leave somebody like that. You leave unknowns alone. Just let the sleeping dog lie. When you got somebody that's a wild card, you don't be the one to bring them in. And so I don't think anyone would bring him in.
And Reggie, my final question: what outcome are you hoping for in this upcoming trial?
The outcome I'm hoping for is for all of these unanswered questions to get answered. Was Orlando at the? Did he ever go to the hospital? Just questions that's out there on the YouTube. I mean, I done heard stuff where a helicopter landed and picked up a Tupac and took him away to Cuba and stuff. The guy that's autopsy report is 6'1". Tupac was only 5'8", 5'9". Just all of this stuff that's on social media to get put to rest. And then if it turns out that Keefe did, in fact, do what he said he do, then justice. Justice for Tupac. Justice for the justice system. If you did something like that, I know our ultimate, and I don't know most people religion and everything, but mine is God. So we definitely got to, ask God for forgiveness. And we're going to be judged for that. But the main thing is we also got man-made justice. And I believe in the law enforcement or the criminal justice system. I'm still for, right or wrong. So justice for Tupac is my outcome, is what I hope for the final outcome.